when you get freezing rain, it feels like it's raining outside, but if you look at your thermometer and the air temperature is 32 or lower, that's freezing rain, and that's what's happening in many locations. And if you're in your wake-up weather tomorrow, temperatures eventually get down into the low and mid-20s. That cold air settles down into the valleys, and because it's below 32 degrees around the bridge, it gets cold from all sides. I almost bumped up the snow meter to 6. I got it at a 5.5, we'll say it right now. We're dry tonight, thankfully, but that northerly wind starting to crank up. I'm keeping my eyes up here in northern Canada because the cold air, it is building. We'll see a refreeze. That's when it'll start. But I think it's really going to pick up as we go into the overnight hours, especially in those areas that were shaded today, which weren't quite as warm, with lows in the lower 20s in a lot of locations. Anything wet is going to freeze up overnight and freeze up fairly quickly. Our spotters are really great tools tonight because you look at the radar and you say, is this rain, sleet? But when someone sends us a report, it really kind of gives us the information we need.
Don't like to hear that word tundra here in the southeast. That's not good.
This is a long stretch, 72 hours below freezing possible in the Charlotte area. So, you know, we saw the heating and air guys, the plumbers are going to be busy here in the next couple days.
Absolutely, Brad.
And then watch as the ice, even in the Boone area, moved in, and the camera is going to be totally encrusted with a layer of ice as the freezing rain came in, and you can't even see it. But watch what happens. The sun comes up, it starts to melt the ice off the lens here, and you can see today they had plenty of sunshine and actually not bad weather up there. We got to 50 today, which seems great compared to the last summer. That's still 8 degrees below average. 7 of the last 11 days at the airport, they've received snow, and the runners, the riders, it's going to be cold. So when you're up early tomorrow morning, make sure you bundle up. Temperatures will be in the 20s. The rest of the weekend doesn't look bad at all. Icy roads overnight, they're going to be slick. Watch out for anything after sunset, which is at 6:08. The temperature will fall. Temperatures over the last 20 hours, not exactly warm. And today the sun did most of the work, but we still only managed to sneak up there to 35 degrees.
Can we go out on a limb and maybe you just tell us that regardless of what's going to happen?
If it makes you feel better, we can do that.
Now the cold, though, is moving in, even talking about some more snow, right, Brad?
Yeah, maybe some thunder snow we actually could get around here. We got some great pictures today from all across the area, but it's always nice to get some unique angles. And we got some pictures from Mooresville today from Derek up there. Sent some great shots that are in the air of Mooresville with all the snow and ice. A little bit more snow up to the north of us, so you saw a lot more white because it stayed sleet and snow for a little bit longer, covered the ground. Even the satellite image this afternoon, we actually saw some of that snow and ice showing up on the MODIS image from NASA. Now tonight, we're worried about that refreeze. Temperatures aren't really cold yet. They're right around the freezing marker, slightly below, but we're going to see some thunder snow likely tomorrow with a band of thunder showers moving through, basically with some snow in them. Record cold, though, moving in behind that cold front as it swings across the area. There's the cold front, and thunder snow is just like a thunder shower. These aren't going to be widespread, but the cold air aloft is so cold compared to the surface. We call that the lapse rate. It's so much of a difference between about 10,000 feet in the ground that you can get thunders, just like if it was 90 degrees in the middle of the summer and it was 50 degrees up there. In this case, it's 35 and it's like 20 below up there. So we've got a big change in temperature aloft with this cold front, and there is some serious Arctic air, by far the coldest air of this entire winter and maybe several winters. We're talking about records that have been around since the 1800s that could be shattered here in the next couple of days. But tomorrow, we're going to keep an eye on that Arctic front diving in from the north and west. You can see it right there, crossing into the mountains about lunchtime and then moving across the Piedmont. Notice there's not a lot of showers with it, but again, there's enough instability, we call it, to kick off a thunder shower with some snow. We could get a quick burst at a couple locations, and then it's just all cold. Cold and wind chill watch already up for the mountains. That means we're going to see a wind chill warning. So we do have a snowfall map, a trace to 1 inch across the Piedmont. Again, I think most areas are dusting, but if you get under one of those little thunder showers with snow in it, just like in the spring or summer, you could get a quick burst of heavy stuff. So the snow meter actually brought it out tomorrow. Maybe just because I love thunder snow, maybe not as much as Jim Cantori, but certainly going to be interesting tomorrow. We'll put it at a 2 because it's going to get a lot of buzz on social media. There's the Arctic front moving through. Arctic blast arrives Thursday into Friday, and we're talking record-breaking temperatures with the lows maybe close to 0 in Charlotte, and those wind chills will be well below that. There's the Arctic chill. Look at this dip in the jet stream, by far the biggest dip we've seen. And this air is what we call cross-polar. So it's coming from all the way over on the other side of the pole, coming across Canada into the southeast. And that's why it's so cold. And with snow on the ground in many locations, with those winds picking up, it's going to be very cold on Thursday morning, below 0, maybe 4 or 5 degrees below 0 across the Piedmont, and only a slight recovery as we go into Thursday and Friday afternoon. The records that could fall, both record lows and what we call record low maxes, which means the coldest high temperatures for both dates, Thursday and Friday. And I'm telling you, these records go way back. That 13 on Friday morning, 1896, and we could break it by 10 degrees. 50% chance of snow tomorrow, and again, some of it could have some thunder in it. Mid-30s here with temperatures falling late in the day. It is going to be a cold stretch of weather tomorrow, maybe the warmest day we see until Sunday, as some of that warm air surges up just briefly and then dives back out of here. The 7-day forecast, this looks like the frozen tundra. Temperatures in the teens and 20s at night and even during the day, barely getting back to the freezing mark. We'll keep it on that Saturday storm. The one thing that's interesting about this storm on Saturday is we're going to see a little snow, maybe some ice, but it's eventually going to change to all rain. It won't be like this last storm where it stayed ice the whole time. So if we can just get through Saturday morning, I think it'll be okay by the evening.
Don't like to hear that word tundra here in the
Yes.
southeast. That's not good.
This is a long stretch, 72 hours below freezing possible in the Charlotte area. So, you know, we saw the heating and air guys, the plumbers are going to be busy here in the next couple days.
Absolutely, Brad. Thank you.